What's up, rebels? Ugh, Sunday walk and talk. No dogs. Not gonna lie. Just didn't feel like bringing them with me. So they're back at home. Nice day here in Charlotte. Sprinkled just for a minute. I know it's raining up at the racetrack right now. So supposed to be racing today, but they're not. All right. Well, what's going on in your life? Let me know. Shoot me a message. Leave me a comment. Man, I spent part of the day doing a little bit of work on the truck, and I spent all this week on the news. I did 2 interviews for the news this past week for opening the gym because, well, we're open. And Governor Cooper says that we can't be. And I actually kind of don't think that legally, constitutionally, I really don't think they can actually do this. It's pretty basic. Mind you, I'm not a lawyer. Don't ever rely on me for law advice. But I've been through some shit in my life. And I'm pretty sure, see, here's how this goes. We're given the right to worship, freedom of religion. Now, what some people don't know is that directly behind, now I can't remember, in the amendments, what, or in the Constitution where it actually says it. I have to read it. I haven't read it in a long time. Anyways, a lot of states have sued their governors for freedom of religion and the right to worship. And those lawsuits have been basically granted, or they won their lawsuit, and the state's statute that churches have to stay closed was overturned. Now, just that portion of it, due to freedom of religion. Now, what many people don't know is that there's also freedom to engage in commerce. This was a big thing about when we were under British rule, and they basically foresaw England not allowing people in the Commonwealth to have businesses and conduct business without paying tax to the monarchy. And basically, if there were businesses that were, backed by the monarchy, I think basically that's what the forefathers saw, and they wanted to make sure that that never happened. So, along with freedom of speech, along with the right to bear arms, along with freedom of worship, you have freedom to engage in commerce. And then far below that, there's another thing about all laws that basically go against any laws in the Constitution or the amendments, that those laws are null and void. So basically, they can't come up with a law that says you can't worship Satan, because that goes against the original law of freedom of worship. You can't make a law. Now, of course, right, you can't be a drug dealer and claim to be a legitimate business, because drugs are then illegal, right? So there's a lot of back and forth on this. I've talked to a few people about it. If anybody wants to weigh in on this, please feel free to shoot me a message. Love to talk to you guys about any of these subjects. But anyways, this is how some people are getting away with opening their business. And when the police come, they're basically telling them that, you know, there's a constitutional right to engage in commerce, and that's it, really. It's fairly basic, but then it gets complex. And the complexity becomes when governors have declared a state of emergency, because once you've declared a state of emergency, that temporarily basically allows them to pass all sorts of laws and temporary things that prevent you from, you know, leaving your house and things like that. Now, I don't want to, a lot of people are like, wow, listen, there's a lot of people we're friends with in places like New York and Detroit and Chicago, places that are really, really hard hit. And I've said this for many videos, that we feel very kind of removed from these situations here in Charlotte. There are very, very few cases here. So on top of that, you're looking at 700 cases in North Carolina, and 400 of them are from nursing homes. So that only leaves 300, and out of that 300, almost every single one of them is over the age of 50 and has at least one pre-existing condition. So basically, if you're under 50 and healthy in Charlotte, you're pretty much safe. I mean, you're not safe from getting sick, you're pretty much safe from dying. But anyways, listen, I don't want to talk about that. I say this every single week. I don't want to talk about this, but it's like the number one topic, and it's controlling our lives, and that's a problem. I've always had a problem with people trying to control my life, and people trying to control my business, things like that. So needless to say, that's why I'm upset about all this. And every week I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk about this. And here I am talking about it. Anyways, yeah, so I did a couple of news interviews this past week about opening the gym. And we had to deal with all of that. And I've had lots of calls and lots of emails and lots of messages on social media regarding, you know, me opening up the gym. And all I'm going to say is, you're an adult, it's your choice. If you want to stay home, stay home. It's okay. I'm not going to make fun of you or guilt you or shame you or anything. I mean, it's your choice. And that's it. So, anyways, back to what we normally talk about, which is training. I'm slowly getting back to some decent weight. Well, I'm still only using lightweight for my O-lifting, for kettlebell. I just got back to some decent weight squat sets this week, but I put the powerlifting briefs back on, as I have yet not maxed out my full potential in the powerlifting briefs. So need to work on that. I think I have found some new mobility work, not new, but just things that I haven't been doing lately that I have started to do again that are helping out my back. And my overhead mobility is definitely tied to my back pain. So tying all that shit together, trying to work on it, starting to feel a little bit better, which is good. Lindsay is, I think, finishing up her last raw cycle before she gets back into her suit. So we'll see. Should be interesting. I know that we were extremely disappointed. Team USA is not sending a team to IPF Worlds, which really sucks, because the whole reason why Lindsay did not go to Worlds this past year is because she didn't necessarily qualify yet, and we really, really wanted to push going this year so that next year we can maybe have a child. So her not being able to go to Worlds this year really messes up our plans. Needless to say, I'm 40 and she turns 35 this year, so we're starting to push it time-wise on the whole child thing. So I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. So no IPF Worlds. I don't know what she's gonna do. We're still going to nationals. I think that's in Jacksonville or Daytona. I can't remember. It's in Florida, I know that. So she's got like 12 weeks to get ready. She got to drop a couple of pounds and she's back in the suit and she's moving. So I know she's got some problems with her hip. So she's got to deal with that. And then all of our lifters are starting to come back. Hopefully O lifters, I think, are going to start coming back this week. A couple of the power lifters are back in. We do have some plans for the power lifters, so hopefully they all come back and things start working out there. We should have the hangers for the bags coming in this week. So we'll have the bags put up and the front room will be all set up for boxing and kickboxing. So we got a lot of work to do there. We are possibly getting some funding for further expansion and possibly to pay off some debt. Well, high interest debt, and then we'll have low interest debt. Not getting rid of debt, unfortunately. That'll be the ultimate goal at some point in time. Yeah, that's about all that's going on in the gym. I know Andre came back this week and boxing program has restarted. Hopefully we'll be bringing Kyle and other people back in for boxing, I think next month. So we'll see what goes on with that. And what else is going on? That's about it. Let me see. What else we got going on? I know I'm missing something. Yeah, that's it. Pretty sure. We are taking on new clients, so anybody who wants to join the gym can join, even though we're not legally allowed to. We just don't give a fuck. And kettlebell competitions, nothing coming up. Trying to get Chris and Mike back into a program sometime soon so that they can get back on schedule. Everyone's off schedule. I'm gonna say that's the biggest thing that this has destroyed in all of our lives is our schedule. Our training schedule is like fucking gone, except for me. But I haven't been training for competition. I'm floating back and forth between O-lifting and kettlebell, and that's it's difficult. I changed my schedule up this past week, but it's less kettlebell, same amount of O-lifting, but I think it's gonna allow me to actually do better with kettlebell. It's the whole less is more thing. So anyways, I'll end up making a blog post about that sometime soon, and that's it. What huge message do I have? I don't really have one this week, I'm sorry. You know, my big message, I was talking about this over this past week, is to make sure that, you know, your training is, everything that you're doing is pushing you towards your goals. Everything that you do should have a reason and a why, unless you're on like a 1 week, 2 week deload fuck off, or unless you're literally already in phenomenal shape and you are just training to train, just for the sake of staying in good shape. But if you are training for a sport, you better make sure everything that you do should have a reason behind it. Everything should have a why. Why are you doing this movement? And if the answer to that does not help you achieve your goals in your sport or just your goals in life, then there isn't a huge reason to be doing that movement. You also have to weigh out the risk and the benefit of that movement and the risk of injury. So just try to remember that, guys and girls. Everything that you do needs to have a why, needs to have a reason. So take a close look at your training programs and see if there's things in there that you're doing that maybe are not helping you reach your goals. All right, that's my big message for this week. So take a look at your training program. If you guys need training programs, hit me up. More than glad to help you out. And that's that. So happy Sunday, happy Memorial Day. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Peace.